Hi, I'm Melanie Marquis, and I'm the creator of the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot. This deck is illustrated by Scott Murphy and published by Llewellyn Worldwide. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the correspondence choices that I'm selected to use in the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot. These are very different from most of the correspondences that you'll find in other decks. So the four suits of the minor arcana of the tarot are equated with the four different elements. The pentacles are related to earth. This is the Ace of Pentacles for my deck. The cups are associated with water. That's the Ace of Cups. And then here is where my deck differs. So this is the Ace of Wands. And this is the Ace of Swords. So in most tarots, you'll find that the wands are associated with the fire suit and swords are associated with air. Now in the Modern Spellcaster's Tarot, I did this in reverse, where wands are associated with air and swords with fire. So I want to explain to you the reason that I chose to do this. First off and foremost, that's how I learned the tarot. That's what my mama taught me in Old Habits Die Hard. But a lot of it has to do with just the ways that I relate personally to the wand and sword and what these things symbolize to me. In my own magical practice, for instance, I use a magic wand to direct energy, to push energy, to magnify and expand energy. So to me that goes along more with what the wind does. The wind pushes the seeds, it moves the seeds, it expands the seeds and blows them all over the place. So, when I do magic and I'm directing that magical power through the wand, I see it, sort of as I see the wind kind of pushing my intentions out there into the universe and carrying them far and wide. Also, branches on a tree, I think of them, moving, pushing the winds. So for me, I just associate that more with air. Also, when I do tarot readings, I find that the wands often come up to talk about things, things in movement, things in motion, things changing and just moving along. Also I associate many of the cards with communication, with the power of thought, things that I personally associate with the air element. So the swords, again in my own personal practice, I use my ritual blade to symbolize fire, and I think of it as fire. I usually use it for cutting type magic, for piercing through energies, for slicing things away, for banishing, and also for projecting more sort of aggressive type of power. To me personally, I just see fire more as associated with that, and with the swords cards I find they often deal with themes of pain, things of aggression. Fire illuminates also, as well as burns, and also warms us. And I find that many of the swords cards have these themes of, kind of realizing these hard truths, and sometimes the pains we build around us give us comfort in a weird way. We sort of cling to those, and it provides this kind of sense of comfort or something to cling to. Also fire burns down things and destroys things, and often when we go through hardships in life, it breaks down our walls and it causes major transformation that's more destructive than the transformation of the wand suit. So I just personally feel that that's more fire-like. Blades are forged in a fire. Fire melts metal. I can also see the other correspondences, because a blade also cuts through the air, it slices, it swooshes, and it's sharp and keen like the wit, And the more traditional correspondences of associating the wands with fire and the swords with air instead of how I have it in my deck stems from ceremonial magic tradition and also Golden Dawn tradition, where the wand is associated with fire and the sword with air. The way I do it just comes from my personal witchcraft practice. Not all witches do it that way, of course. We're all different and have our own different beliefs. But I just found that for the tarot and for the symbolism of the tarot, that just worked better in this deck and for my own personal tarot readings and how I equate it. Now, if you do it the opposite way, of course you can, read with this deck corresponding them any way you like. And in fact, in the wand suit in my deck, they're associated with the autumn, and I'll talk about my wonky seasonal correspondences in another video. But if you can see in this one, it has autumn colored leaves. So if you're somebody that has associated the wands with fire, you could maybe draw into the autumn colored leaves of those, and you know, pick up on the fire aspect that way. In the same sense, many of the swords cards, you can see signs of wind in them. See how her dress is kind of blowing to the side there, and there are little candle flames, but you can also see wind there. You know, the elements aren't truly separated in nature, and they're not truly separated in the tarot either. So if you're somebody that associated the swords with air, you could see these cards and think about that air feeding those flames and making those flames grow and expand. So I just found that worked better in my deck. Let me show you just a couple more examples. So this one, the Five of Swords, has the fire there, and he's looking very defensive. I just felt that fire showed that feeling more, that kind of just that burning awkwardness, you know, that can happen sometimes. I just felt that really kind of showed the meaning more of these swords cards. And this one, the Three of Wands, I felt that this was a very, very airy card. She's standing here, she's sending off her hopes and dreams, and, you know, her plans and schemes off into the wider world. I thought that was very, you know, very more air thing to do. I'll talk about this more in another video. My camera doesn't work too well and it shuts off quickly, so I'll see you next time. Thank you.